A lot of people use a race on the horizon as a means to motivate themselves to train or to get into shape. And this is something I've also done in the past. You put the race on the calendar, it's 2 months out or 6 months out, and that gets you in gear. It gives you just enough urgency to do the training required to perform well at that event. But one of the things you're dealing with now, and myself and a lot of other people, is what is the motivation to train, to stay in shape or to get in better shape if there's no race, if there's no means of expressing your fitness? It's like, okay, I'm in fantastic shape, but what do I do with it? Am I just going to walk around in great shape? Like, what's the point? Why should I spend 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day if there's no return on that investment? So what do you do? Well, the way that I'm approaching it right now is about engaging in a very, I don't want to say chaotic way. We'll use the term evolutionary approach. So rather than working from the top down, rather than having a goal, which I then break down into smaller chunks of time, like for instance, 2 months from now, there was going to be a race. So then I break those 2 months into weeks. That's 8 weeks. And then I break those weeks into 7 days. And then I break those days down into training sessions, a morning training session, midday, and evening. And I would build a plan within those slots. But if there's no race on the calendar, it's very difficult for my brain to get interested in wanting to do that. So what I do instead is I simply point myself in the direction of training. I point myself in the direction of some kind of fitness activity without worrying about the result, without worrying about the larger context that it's supposed to fit into. Now, for a lot of people, this could be really disconcerting because they're going to want to add it up. They're going to want to know, what do I get for this? And is it enough? So that's the biggest challenge in coaching someone inside of this type of more evolutionary method of training, is to get them to not look at the numbers, to get them to not add it up. But I'll tell you from my own personal experience that I'm in phenomenal shape right now at the age of 52 because I'm not trying to hit certain marks. I'm simply engaging in some kind of movement whenever I think about it. But it's not, I have to go run 8 miles up this mountain. It's, ooh, there's my elliptical machine. Let me get on the elliptical machine. Okay, I'm on it. Well, hit the TV and load a movie. Okay, the movie's loaded. Hit play. Hit your watch. Go. How long am I going to go for? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I go until I don't want to be on the machine anymore. What pace do I go at? It doesn't matter. Go at the pace that feels sustainable right now. And then maybe it will evolve. Maybe I'll end up going faster. Maybe I won't. And when I hop on my elliptical, which I'm doing now 2 hours a day, very, very consistently. It's rare now that I'm on that machine less than 2 hours a day, but it's never in one session. It's throughout the day. I'm only adding it up for the benefit of other people who follow my training, but I really don't care. Whenever I think about it, I hop on the elliptical machine. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10, maybe it's an hour and a half like it was yesterday. I watched a whole movie. What pace? Well, when I get on, it's hard because I have the resistance cranked up really high. But then as the movie goes on, or as my experience changes, even though the resistance hasn't, I often increase my pace. But not because I said at the beginning I must work at this intensity. I do the same thing with squats. So throughout the day, I'm just walking around and saying, let me do 5 squats on the way to the bathroom. Let me do 10 squats on the way to making a cup of tea. Let me do 1 squat with a 50-pound bag while I walk towards the door to leave my studio. And I'm doing this with push-ups, and I'm doing it with all kinds of things. And I'm also doing it with getting outdoors and hiking or slogging up mountains, which I'm not doing a lot of because I'm trying to heal my Achilles tendon. But same thing. How far am I going to go? I don't know. Where am I going to go? I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. So I know not everybody has the time flexibility that I do for larger investments, and you might be limited in what times of day you can train, but I guarantee you this: you can do 5 squats throughout the day, no matter how many kids you have, no matter if you're working harder than ever now as a healthcare worker or you're not working at all. You've got time in the middle of everything else you're doing to knock out 5 squats, or 1, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Or a couple push-ups. I'm doing push-ups throughout the day now in all different kinds to make it interesting. My hands are constantly changing positions as I do my push-ups throughout the day. And it's phenomenal to see the transformation of my body just with these little engagements all day long. I go home and I have dinner, and before I sit down to the table, I go to the countertop, which has a corner. And I put one hand on this part, and I put one hand on this part, and I lower myself in a dip position. So I do a couple dips, and then I push all the way up, and I tuck my core up, and then I lift my legs. And I'll do that for like 15, 20 seconds before I sit down to dinner. And then if I get up from the dinner table to get a drink in the middle of dinner, I go back over into the corner, put myself into that position again, do a couple dips, and do some core work. Same thing after dinner. So when I'm home, I've got these random things I do throughout the day. When I'm in my studio, things I'm doing throughout the day. Before I get in my car in the parking lot, I'll do a couple squats while holding the door handle. It's all day long now, and my fitness is far better than it was when I had a plan. And I don't need motivation. I don't need this larger context. I don't need this race on the horizon in order to do this. It's simply, 1 squat. Well, does 1 squat equal race? No, but it doesn't need to. So there's very little resistance to it. Whereas if I look at my top-down plan 2 months out, and every week and every day and every training session is already broken out for me, and I look and it's like, oh my God, a 2-hour run today. I really don't feel like a 2-hour run. I don't think I can do it. I'm going to start coming up with excuses not to do it, especially if there's a lot of other pressing things in my life. But the way I work now, I'm getting 2 hours on the elliptical machine every day without it ever being on my to-do list. And it's kind of fun. Like, I'll find myself an hour and 45 minutes done, and I can't wait to get that extra 15 minutes in. In fact, it's exciting now. I'm compelled to move towards the machine to make it 2 hours. Why? I don't know why, but it's become some sort of a game for me. How many random times can I get on the machine and make it 2 hours? So training has become fun, and it is now unburdened from a context. It's unburdened from, I must perform this way at this particular race because it's a national championship and I need to get another title. I don't care anymore. And the result is I'm in great shape. So something you can try, play around with, find out what exercises do it for you. I'm trying to get my entire body involved throughout the day, and the results are really phenomenal. I've been doing it since sometime in early April. I think I started a month before my birthday, which is the beginning of May. So I'm almost 2 months in now, and it's really just to see the change in my body is pretty crazy. Without going to a gym, without buying expensive workout equipment or machines. I got the elliptical out of the dump. I kid you not. Do you know how many people just throw away treadmills and elliptical machines and spin bikes? We have a part of the dump where they collect metal. We call it the metal pile. There's exercise equipment in there at least once a week that somebody's getting rid of because they don't use it. Or you can find them on Craigslist for free or for $20. So I've gotten, I don't know how many hours out of that elliptical machine, probably 150 hours, and it was free. So that's what I'm doing right now. It seems to be working really well, and there is zero pressure whatsoever. The only thing that I'm counting at all is the elliptical machine, because it kind of equates to running. And those people that follow me on Strava and who want to know what I'm doing to get my running performances, I have that as something they can look at. But everything else, I'm not adding it. I'm not counting, but I'm seeing my body change. So give it a try and see what happens.